All right, so everyone's been wondering what's inside this US General here that I have. This is actually the first generation of the US General Pro here. Picked this up on a actual Black Friday sale. I would say maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago now, somewhere in that range. And this is back when they were really cheap. They were actually a really good deal. I picked it up for about 350 bucks. That includes the top and the bottom. So let's start on the top and work our way down. All right, starting up here on the top, I always like to keep a little bit of the 3-in-1 oil, as well as the 3-in-1 all-temp silicone. Really great to have for just around, the garage, keeping things lubricated. This stuff is really cheap and really great to use in most applications. I do keep some WD-40, but it's over on my main shelf to the left there. Now up on top, I got a few miscellaneous things up here, but this is kind of where I keep my odds and ends chargers. I keep 2 of the DCB 115s up here. These are some of the fastest chargers from DeWalt that aren't rapid chargers. I also have a regular Milwaukee M12 M18 charger over here, and just a extra Metabo HPT charger up there as well too. A little messy up here, but I don't really use up this spot too much for really, a lot of stuff. It's kind of just where I keep my chargers here and there. Over on the sides here, I've got some Husky clamps I just picked up on the current Black Friday sales and holiday deals happening. Behind those, I have some of the DeWalt clamps. Got an Irwin clamp behind there. These clamps are always expensive, so whenever you find a deal on them, especially now in the holiday deals, definitely worth picking those up. All right, then over here I've got the little mini clamps that came in the larger clamp kits there. I don't use these as much as I thought I would, but they're always nice to have and always super useful and handy to have on hand. All right, so let's start with a couple drawers now. You got 3 little drawers up on top, and I really love these drawers where you can store in them. So I've got these security bit kits here, and what I like to do is take a razor blade and cut the cover off, or basically the top off, and now you can just slide this right into a drawer and you are good to go. And these little security bit sets are always useful. They always have a ton of stuff in them, and I like the organization. They're all lettered really nice so you can tell what everything is. And I keep a few extra bit sets back there as well too. Not a big deal. I don't use these a ton, but I definitely like keeping them on hand, so much so that I actually have 2 of these. I have one in the lower drawer as well too, and I just love having these on hand just in case. They are always super handy to have, and for how cheap they are, definitely worth it. All right, so the next drawer here is going to be kind of markers, pencils. I love the Milwaukee ink saws. Those are fantastic. A couple other random things in here as well too. Nothing else that's really interesting, but I've got a Metabo HPT. Pencils I just picked up at the Milwaukee store. They just kind of became Metabo HP dealers there, and they were giving away free pencils, so pretty cool. I just grabbed those recently, but that's about all it is for this drawer. All right, in this third drawer over here, it feels like I can never escape this drawer, is always having a drawer of extra drill bits laying around. I don't know why, but whenever I've got extra drill bits that maybe I use like once or twice and I don't want to put them back in the packaging, or I have some extra laying around for some weird reason, this is where they all end up. I like to kind of call it the kind of the beater drill bits in here. If I need to just use something that I'm not sure if the drill bit's going to survive or not, here's where I put the drill bits. All right, now let's start with the first larger drawer here up on top. As I mentioned, in this drawer right here, I also have a security bit set. I got a second one on an Amazon deal, and I figured, hey, you know what? I'll go for it. So I grabbed a second one. As we move over here to some of the ratchets, this is all my 1/4-inch drive drawer here. Really big fan of a lot of the Pittsburgh ratchets. I've got a lot of those. If you didn't know, that $5 off coupon for Pittsburgh Pro ratchets doesn't have an expiration date, so you can use that indefinitely. That's how I got all my Pittsburgh Pro ratchets, using that $5 off coupon. I got a couple adapters, a couple extensions up here as well too, and then here's all my sockets. I'm not overly particular when it comes to sockets, but I do like the Cobalt and how they're got a nice little band or color code here between SAE and metric. And then I love the color-coded Pittsburgh Pro ones over here. Back there I've got a few more of the Cobalts, and then here is a nice set of vintage Craftsman. These are actually all made in the USA. Really big fan of the made in the USA stuff. Really wish we'd see more Craftsman made in the USA tools. But that is all I've got in this one drawer here. And if you're wondering where I got these socket rails from, I got these all off Amazon. I kind of just like to buy the cheapest socket rails I can find. I don't really put a lot of heavy use into these rails, but they look really cool and they hold up really, really well. All right, moving into the next drawer down, I've got all my 3/8 inch drive sockets in this drawer. Got all my Pittsburgh Pros are here, and I got the color-coded Pittsburgh Pros up here as well too. And this is my complete collection of Craftsman made in the USA. These are all that vintage. I'm not sure what year these would be exactly, but all are made in the USA, and they are really, really nice sockets. Really big fan of those. I'm really careful with those too. I don't want to break those, as of course you can't warranty them and get made in the USA sockets from Craftsman anymore. But I've got all the cobalts behind here. These are just from a larger set that I originally got rid of the packaging for, so got these instead. And then I've got a couple of Porter cable sockets here. I'm not sure if these are impact rated or not. They're chrome palladium, and they're a nice set of deep sockets. I've been using them for quite a while. Got them actually at a pawn shop for $5, and they came in this nice little case here, and they've served me well so far. And of course, I got a couple of spark plug sockets here. Use those for working on like mini bikes and dirt bikes and go-karts around the house, so they always come in handy really nicely here. And then in the back there, I've got a little bit of SK sockets. If you didn't know, SK has been having some issues here. They did recently sell out to another company, and they've been kind of struggling here to kind of get back in business. I did actually get a few warranty claims done by SK, and they've been doing okay for me. All right, so moving into the next drawer down here, this is going to be my collection of 3/8 inch ratchets down here. And I will say a couple of these were actually sent to me. This one was sent to me by Ulsa Tools here. This is their swivel ratchet. Easily my most favorite ratchet that I've ever used. I use this thing on dirt bike projects all the time because how it swivels is fantastic. I can really get into some awesome positions with that, and as well as you can just go like this and basically turn it into a screwdriver, which is so nice to have. Easily my favorite ratchet to date is definitely this one. I haven't really used this Pittsburgh too much. That has the 1/4 inch and 3/8 inch drive on it. Some of the Pittsburgh ones that are cheaper, like this one's actually pretty decent. Here is an older SK. I actually found this one doing a shed tear out for a client. Found this thing basically destroyed in the mud, and I was able to restore it back to full working order, which is really cool. Love the made in the USA tools. Here's a Craftsman that I actually got warranty not too long ago, probably about a year ago I would say. This is the replacement. Haven't really used it too much. And then this is a regular Cobalt that I got from a larger kit that's been sitting in here now. So a couple other adapters, extensions, mostly by DeWalt and Pittsburgh in here. All right, moving on to the next drawer down. This is all of my pliers and snips and cutters down here. So I've got a pretty big assortment. I love any Japanese made tools. I don't know the brand on this one, but if you do, let me know in the comments. I just know that it says Japan down here, and that is it. I couldn't find anything online about that. It just says gray B6 on it, and that's it. Got a lot of the Cobalt stuff. Always been a fan of Cobalt. Some of the Pittsburgh Pro stuff, which, the quality is just kind of okay on those tools. I got a Proto pliers in here as well that I found at a pawn shop. And then one of my favorite brands that's kind of been a little bit up and coming from Harbor Freight is a lot of the Doyle stuff is actually pretty affordable and pretty rock solid. So I've been a huge fan of that so far. And my next drawer down, if we move over to that one, also going to be pliers as well too. So I've got a couple of Kleins, more Cobalts in here. One tool I always recommend is going to be a long reach needle nose pliers. That thing is awesome to have. Definitely comes in handy a lot more than I thought it would, and really been a big fan of that. So two of my oldest owned pliers, pretty much the first ones I ever bought here, are going to be these Blue Points here. And these have been, I've probably used these things a couple hundred times now, and they are easily some of the best pliers I've ever owned to date. Just phenomenal. Nothing has really come close to beating them. I've got a pair of larger Cobalts in here, which I actually use on my barbecue grill more often than not, kind of just for moving around the hot stuff and grates and getting the coals, because I don't really ever need a pliers that big. All right, let's move on to the bottom of the drawer now. This is where I keep some Phillips screwdrivers. So I know I've showed off the Cobalts before. These are the Cobalt diamond tips. They're actually pretty solid. I got one of my Milwaukees in here that I don't currently have in my work bag. And then I got some of the Huskies, which I'd say Huskies are easily my favorite screwdrivers, followed by the Milwaukees. And these Cobalt diamond tips are pretty cool, but they're okay. All right, moving down to the next drawer. This is all the Phillips screwdrivers that I have. Just like the drawer above, it's all gonna be the same brands down here. I do have something really cool in here. Check this out. This is actually a proto screwdriver. I have no idea how old this thing is, but very, very old. Says Los Angeles, manufactured USA, which is really cool. Really tiny lettering there. It's got a nice wood handle. Kind of just a really cool screwdriver. I always kind of held on to that one. And then one thing that I do use very rarely, but nice to have, is a Pittsburgh Pro. This is one of the little mini drive socket sets here. Has a lot of little mini bits in there and works out really well. Also got little tweezers too, so keep that in there just in case. I don't use really wrenches at all, but I do keep a nice set in here just in case. This whole SK set here I actually got at a pawn shop. I got almost all of them in order here, and they were actually really cheap. I think I only paid like 10 bucks for this whole set of SK wrenches here. And I've used a few of them here and there, but really haven't used wrenches at all too much. All right, let's move down to the next drawer here. So I've actually got two sets of each of these. And this is the Icon ratcheting wrenches, SAE and metric. And these are amazing ratcheting wrenches. Kind of funny story on how I ended up getting these was actually that I found these at a pawn shop, brand new in the box, and they had them marked down to, I think it was like 60 bucks. And I said, hey, is that for both? And the guy at the pawn shop's like, yeah, sure. So I said, hey, I'll give you 40 for them right now. And he was like, all right, sounds good. So that is how I got those. And then I got the second set also from a pawn shop, pretty much the exact same thing, but I got these for 80 combined. I have no idea why these were at a pawn shop. Different pawn shops, both had the sets, both are brand new in the box, and they were hardly asking anything for them. So I'm really, in love with these, and I'm only missing the 10 millimeter, of course. I did end up calling Icon, and they told me it was like 15 bucks plus shipping to get the 10 in, and I said, forget it. That's way too much to pay for just one wrench there, so not a big deal, but yeah, loving the Icon wrenches. They have been fantastic. Next drawer down is my 1/2-inch drive and impact sockets. I keep them all in the same drawer. Don't really use these too much. I will say this is the Pittsburgh Pro, kind of the impact socket starter kit here. It's got 3/8-inch drive and a 1/2-inch drive in here. I've put a ton of work into these sockets. They have worked fantastic for me. Probably had them for 2.5 years now, and they've been fantastic. Up here is going to be the Icon 1/2-inch. This is just going to be SAE, and I did a review on these not too long ago. They were on clearance for like 30 bucks or so. Was it a pawn shop? I don't remember exactly, but they were a fantastic deal. Then I've got a larger set of metric 1/2-inch impacts here from Icon, and these have been pretty awesome. Definitely great for, if you need to take off lug nuts, do some larger work as well. Then I've got a couple of ratchets, a couple a little bit larger impact sockets down here as well too, some swivel sockets, and just stuff I don't really use too much. And I do have an SK ratchet down here as well too that I actually found, and it's been overall working pretty well. So the final two drawers here are more just storage than anything. Zip ties, duct tape, and then you won't believe this, but check out how cheap I ended up getting this at Lowe's. Yep, that's right, $1.06 from 17 bucks for this ugly twist line, and this line has been awesome. It has worked great. Zach grabbed a couple of these. I grabbed at least two, and been using it ever since. So I'm at like $2 into line for the last 2 years now. It's been fantastic. All right, the final drawer down here, not much in here, just kind of the larger tools, bolt cutters, kind of tape. Then I do have, this is actually a fun story here. This was actually, I think it was like $1 on Amazon, and it was something else that I ordered, but I got this in the mail instead, and Amazon ended up canceling it, and they still sent it to me anyways. So I got this newborn caulk gun for free from Amazon, and it's been pretty cool. Not the best caulk gun I've used, but it's been great. And that's pretty much it for my US General Toolbox, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Take care, and have a great day.